Happy Friday. Here's a very quick Bitcoin short-term analysis so we can set up expectations moving into the weekend. You ready? Let's go. I am anticipating, mostly after having been able to think this through throughout about an hour and a half VIP call today that we had on Discord at around noon, New York Central, or New York Central time. That makes a lot of sense, Tim. New York time. It looks like sell pressure is waning, but buy pressure really isn't picking up that much. So with that, it looks like price wants to come up just above the range or to the top of the range. And I think it could happen potentially before today's daily candle close, maybe, or at the beginning of tomorrow and into tomorrow's candle, which this candle, daily candle, ends in 4 hours. So something within the next 24 hours, I would say. Let me make sure that this is within 24 hours. That day and 6 hours. So that's about right. I think this box is going to be hit. And then what happens from there, I am not totally for sure. But there are a few plays. So this is the 1 hour 200 EMA, which is kind of among one of the most magical lines in all of crypto. Is you have a couple of, very common plays. Either it gets above with a couple of spikes, then comes right back down and rolls over slowly. Or it could be a very fast little bull trap before the big move down. I don't know which one's going to play out. We're going to have to see when we get there. Or the third one is you actually do have a couple of bounces on top over the next 5 days, leading into setting up the beginning of February to be green for multiple days, maybe even 2 weeks. This could end up being a 2 week to the upside, and then February halfway through comes down. That, in my opinion, that would be best case scenario. But I'm going to show you the reason why I don't think it'll do the version that you're seeing here for roughly, let's see how many days that was. So Bitcoin would be relatively here right now. I don't think we'll see an up. Yeah, so that was only a week. I don't think it'll go up for a whole week like that in that case, and I'm getting ready to show you why. But before we do, make sure that you flip your phones or get flipped off here. This is going to help me continue making more videos for you if you simply hit the like button. And also, what will help me continue making videos for you, if you leave me a comment down below, just make it random, help out the algo for me. Please take a quick minute to do that, particularly returning viewers. That's what counts the most for me. And if there are new viewers on here, go ahead and leave me a comment. Let me know that you're new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell for all alerts, because it's time-sensitive information. So if I'm going to deliver it to you in a time-sensitive fashion, you got to hit that bell and select all alerts. So let's dive back into the charts. Follow me on Twitter, 𝘾𝙤𝙣𝙣𝙚. I give frequent Bitcoin and cryptocurrency updates. Turn on your camera and microphone and ask me questions directly in live. And for the higher tiers, watch 2 different live trading channels held by other members of the community who run their own channels within my community. If online communities are not your thing, but you want exclusive content far above and beyond what I offer on YouTube, click the join button below this video, and another video will pop up showing you the options. All right. Yeah, I'm a little out of the groove right now because I got to get ready to leave here for a quick errand. But here is why I don't think that we're going to see that whole week to the upside, even though I think it maybe is the third most probable, and it does look like this is going to be hit. But I think this will be more of a fast play, maybe a fractal of this relative to the orange line, which is the 1 hour. I think something like this could play out, but I think it would have more immediate downside coming back to the bottom of the range, and here's why. So let's actually just take a fractal of that, something to this effect. I'm kind of anticipating something like that. Let's stretch this out. Yeah, something like that. That would be my guess. And I would guess this comes down a little bit lower, even down to 33 or so, perhaps as low as 31.8 after this move. And the reason why is because on the 4 hour and daily, again, it's just RSI higher lows. Not even bullish divergence necessarily. Let me take off the EMAs, and I'm on the 4 hour chart. I'm going to zoom into the RSI. Okay, look at this bottom. Okay. When the RSI gets straight above the EMA and stays up here, typically you need a mid macro higher low. And this, in my opinion, doesn't cut it. It needs to be closer to a 45-degree angle. This could be a higher low. It's possible. But I think what's going to happen is over the next week or two, this RSI is going to come down and hit that line. It's that simple. That's simply how it works. Something, in this case here, it was a little bit sharper than a 45-degree angle, but you can see relative what our higher low that we have below the EMA. So the white line right here, so for newer folks, the white line that's left, that's the EMA of the RSI. The RSI now that you can see, now you can't see, that is, it typically needs to come down farther. And in order to make a higher low, you oftentimes get way above the EMA and come back below the white line EMA and make the higher low, but it typically has to be closer to a 45-degree angle. And so this angle, that's, what is that? That's only a 20-degree angle. It's way too aggressive, and you can see how Bitcoin actually did come down, and it did end up going on a rally there. But at least something to this effect has to happen. And so relative to this low here coming below the EMA, that would be very similar to what we have seen here. So maybe best case if it came down to this effect and then went on a rally, that might be only coming down roughly to the point of control, which is this pink box, which this fractal would align, and then maybe Bitcoin could come off. I think that would be most generous case. But the problem with that though is if you go to the daily chart, and now I'm on the daily RSI, it simply looks like it needs to make a higher low too. Now, the daily chart can also get above its EMA and then, like the 4-hour, and then come down. And that would be your 6-day fractal, where it does stay above the orange line on the 1-hour chart. It easily could happen. It really could. But I think that would be about the third most probable. There is a significant chance for a little bit of upside. Some, even getting close to 41K, 40K and change, something to that effect. However, I really see the RSI here. Let me zoom in, bumping its head on this RSI and coming back down to make the version of the higher lows on the daily that isn't getting above the EMA first and then coming below to make your higher low. Even though it does happen quite a bit, I see it, I see it making a higher low more like this, getting above the EMA, coming back down, and that would be, forming your 33K, coming back down to the bottom of the range. I see something to this effect happening over here, as opposed to one of the cases where it really just flies up. Oh, something like this. Yeah, this would be your 6-day fractal where it does go up for, the first week or two of February, where it gets way above. So the white line's the EMA, right? So it gets way above the EMA, then comes back down and forms your higher low. That did happen in late September, and that could happen again. However, I think that would be the third most probable scenario here. And the second most probable scenario is that it's going to turn around now. But it looks like it wants to wick above this EMA, which would align with that pop up to this to this pink box here. And that's one of the favorite ways Bitcoin likes to make higher lows on the daily EMA, is bumping its head or wicking past the white line EMA and then coming back down. And because it's newer in the range, this range here is fairly new in formation. It really feels like the bottom of this range. This could be the bottom of the range. This is my guess at what the range will be, but I could have this wrong because it's such a new range. This could actually be the bottom, and therefore the point of control, the pink box, should be up higher. This is my guess as of now, and the reason I'm making that guess is because a lot of times the second drive down is what gets the bottom of the range, as opposed to the first drive down. So this is definitely my guess as of now, but the top of the range I think is fairly locked in, and this is more of a micro range just for the 2 weeks, last 2 weeks of January, or maybe leading into the first 2 weeks of February. So this range probably won't last forever, and this is my short-term analysis. What happens after that, I will have to play it by ear, because a lot of things could happen on the monthly chart. A red month can still have a nice, for example, could have a nice wick up. I mean, so let's say this month closes somewhere around here. Next month could come up. I mean, hell, it could come up to 42, 43 and still then turn red. Or, next month could end green, before a red month. And so it depends on the monthly close, how the weeklies end up closing, and how the traditional markets are reacting to, the Fed news, which is really, roughly met expectations. But it's going to depend on that. So I can't quite do a midterm analysis, because my guess would just be that, like, a lot of the options within my midterm guess for the next 3 to 4 weeks, I think, if I made 3 guesses at this point, I would think each would have a similar probability, which means you shouldn't be guessing quite at all yet at this time. But on the short-term analysis, which is what I'm providing you today, it does look like short-term. It does want to come up just a little bit. And if you found this pretty helpful, then make sure to go ahead and learn how to set up a chart like mine. If you're new, it's a best 28 minutes that you can spend in crypto if you're new to crypto, and it'll help you understand other analysts like myself. And check out this video right here if you want to see why the carnage could end up happening until September of this year. Altcoins could really take a big hit, and that is my origin wave theory. Click the circle in the middle if you're new and you haven't subscribed, and we'll see you next time.